Now we're calling him a murderer. You don't think we're being a tad fickle? That's a good point. No way, don't fall for that too, Your Honor. Say that Luke Adney was the one who killed Bolliard. Let me ask you this, why would he do that? Ah, excellent point. Motive, Mr. Wright. Motive. Won't you, my merry murderous motive manifest? Nick's getting his second wind. He prepared an alibi and pinned this crime on Ron DeLite, as you say. Must have had a very strong motive for murder. Only any motive we've seen here is Ron DeLite. Don't want your true identity revealed to the world? Come to KP Security at 1 a.m. on October 12th and bring the 50,000. If you don't, take that red diamond you received the other day. Man has a red diamond on his hand, man. Isn't that right, detective? Indeed. According to my own research, the boy's motive is clear. That a motive is nearly impossible to prove guilt in a murder case. Now then, maybe you can enlighten us to what the defendant's motives were. Be honored, too, Sir Oldtimer. Doing everything they can to make Ron look suspicious. But our lack of hard information, this might be our only chance. Lugami had no point of contact with the victim whatsoever. Cain Bolivar decided to investigate Master Mask and simply mistook who he was. It was Mr. Bolliard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Ron DeLite. It was again Mr. Bolliard who harbored the grudge against Mr. DeLite for his betrayal. Mr. Bolliard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes he is Master Mask. This is why Mr. DeLite saw it fit to kill Cain Bolliard, truly a tragedy. Victim Cain Bolliard blackmailed the defendant. This is the blackmail letter found in the defendant's apartment. Handwritten text confirms that Mr. Bolliard was indeed the one who wrote the letter. What? Blackmail letter updated the court record. When have I asked you for questions, Detective Abby? Well, if it's just a few, I guess it's alright. When you said that this letter was addressed to Ron DeLite, I couldn't help but notice one major contradiction. Contradiction? I don't know, we're a walking contradiction, like you get off saying things like that. They want to talk. Times like these, men are made to express themselves with their fists. And just show us what you've got there, Junior. Had a minute, Mr. Wright? Tear of Enema, dude. Take a look at this newspaper clipping. It contains the picture of the Tear of Emanon, a stolen jewel. What about it? Problem is the jewel's color. Color? Not much for discussing color myself. According to the clipping, the color of the stolen jewel was blue. However, in the blackmail letter, a totally different jewel was mentioned. Take that red diamond you received the other day. Red. Which means, red diamond described in the blackmail letter is not the Tear of Emanon that Master Mask stole at all. And your point is, Mr. Trey? So you were trying to say that the blackmail letter was intended for someone else? That's what you're trying to say, right, Trey? That's what you're trying to say, right? Well, that's what you're trying to say, right, Nick? Yes. And then he was blackmailing Mr. Adme. Naturally, it was you, Detective Adme. Do you have some sort of basis for that claim? You have been personally involved in every single Master Mask case. And in the last case, you recovered what was stolen. You received a jewel as your reward. A jewel? Probably the one wrapped conspicuously around your finger. A red diamond ring. Unger. The diamond referred to in the letter, which means that Cain Bolliard wrote that letter in order to blackmail you. Ah. Order in the court. Order, sir, or I say. Seems you got too far with your childish pranks, Mr. Chart. I don't like the way he said that. Came Bulliard blackmailing Luke at me? Are you for real? Yes, I am. Nick, come on, stand up to him. And answer me. This. Blackmail letter contains the following passage. If you don't want your identity revealed to the world. Yes, it certainly does. Came Bulliard threatened to make Luke Amy's identity public knowledge. Then he wanted to keep it secret. So just what was that identity? And Amy killed Game Bulliard because he was afraid of his secret becoming known. And then he wanted to keep secret? Is it what it all comes down to, Nick? Am I dying here? Is it not? Mask to mask? Or he's been blackmailing Rom this entire time? Sorry, I was talking to someone. Luke Abney was a blackmailer? Hey now, isn't that a little different from what you've been saying? You said that Kane Bulliard was the one blackmailing Luke Abney, saying that Abney was blackmailing someone else on top of that? You have to admit, that does sound like a little odd. It's not odd, it's the one that makes any sense. Kane Bulliard was blackmailing Luke Abney. But Ronda Light was also being blackmailed by someone. So did you start receiving blackmail letters after this incident? Yes, just a few days after the Tears of Eminon heist. After that, I started getting plans in the mail. I received plans from some very kind person, incredibly detailed plans. Detailed plans. In which case, that would mean that Ronda Wright was actually the Master Mask. That's what we were claiming. Someone else came up with the plan and had Mr. Light steal his targets for him. And that someone was none other than Luke Abney. Silence. Now it's all becoming clear. What is? When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Careless, with a tendency to jump to conclusions. Am I wrong? How did you? You say that I, Luke Abney, was blackmailing Ronda Light? In which case, I would naturally know all about his relation to Master Mask. Well, yes. Ronda Light started receiving plans for a second crime onward, correct? Which means I learned of his identity when he committed his first crime. Good point, clearly couldn't have blackmailed him otherwise. In that case, let's see some better evidence. I know what it is, but I didn't want to say it just to make sure. I think I see it. See what? When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Gets into lots of mischief trying to be the center of attention. What do you mean? Let's just get paper clipping. I'm gonna save, it's been a while. Picture of Ronda Light in his guard uniform. Seems that Master Mask just appeared in the thin air. Just took off his outfit, hid in the bucket. That sounds far too stupid to be true. Correct. With tricks like that, he couldn't fool a baby, let alone an ace detective. And that's when you figured it out, Mr. Abney. That's when you learned that under the mask, Master Mask was really Ronda Light. What the? Wasn't he supposed to be the Master Mask? Not only that, it looks like he wasn't even the ace detective. Can't believe it. He was just a slimy blackmailer. Why you? How dare you expose me like that? Why I mean, I've been blackmailing all my life. I'm a famous and proud ace detective, and I'm also Master Mask. Why can't you understand that? I'm afraid you are neither a proud thief nor an ace detective. You're a blackmailer and a murderer? That's your true identity. Why you? How dare you? How dare you even literally deaths? You're just telling with those big mouth of yours, you're foolish. I say none of you can compare to my genius, you're really just jealous. Sargoon, discriminate. Come moderate me. The ace detective enough to handle blackmail, murder threats. That's enough to take at something. It would seem we're finally arrived at the real answer. That was quite a performance. Mr. Amy. Bailiff, please prepare a cell for Mr. Amy. The hammer that strikes too fast? The time to aim. What do you mean? I'm already prepared to deliver my ruling. I'm going to say one thing. I will be the one to judge. You don't get much more in your face than that. It appears that your claws weren't quite sharp enough, Mr. Trey. What do you... It's true that you've proven a lot of things. Things like Lugami was a filthy blackmailer, and that he wasn't a Lord Taylor the night of the murder. That's right, that's why he's the one who killed Mr. Bull. But there's still one thing that you have yet to prove. What's that? Just because he wasn't at the warehouse doesn't mean he wasn't at the murder scene. Therefore, if you can't prove that this pitiful excuse where a man was that KGB security, I don't see how a verdict can be delivered. No way. Order in the court. Well, Mr. Wright, this is the final round. Gotta prove that Amy was at Mr. Bolier's office that night. But can you really prove that? No? I don't believe you can. That's enough. That's long enough, Mr. Wright. I want to hear your answer. At night, Lugami was a KGB security in the defense. I don't think we can prove it, man. We don't have the energy to mess with it. That's a thought. But if you hear more of Detective Amy's testimony... Unfortunately, that's as far as you go, Mr. Trey. What do you mean? I won't allow for any more testimony, that's what I mean. What? Have you forgotten Lugami is here to reinterrupt his own trial, and you have failed to prove that he committed the murder? I think it's time that we return to his own trial. Faces guilty of murdering the Master Mask. No? Well, now, Sir Lawyer, it seems that love wins out in the end after all. I am the detective as well as Master Mask. My verdict will verify that. Ronda Lane's verdict will verify that he's a true murderer and declare that with the full force of my detectiveness. Order in the court. It's enough deliberation over the witness. I can't believe this at this rate we're on is. Don't give up now, Nick. We still have tomorrow. We can look for more evidence, and by then it'll be too late. Huh? Why? Double jeopardy. One of the basic rules of any court of law. Double jeopardy. Should the defendant be tried and found innocent in court, and it cannot be tried again for the same crime. This is the fundamental rule of all courts, and applies to the witness as much as it applies to anyone else. Mr. Amy will be found guilty in a matter of minutes. Guilty as Master Mask, which means he'll be innocent as far as the murder of Cain Bolivar is concerned. No way. The fact that you were unable to prove Mr. Amy's guilt of that crime here means that he will never again be tried as Cain Bolivar's murderer. What? I mean, from what I can tell, since we haven't, didn't just end, we still have, I'm still on the right track here. Nothing I can possibly do to win, even if Ron is proclaimed to be innocent. Real killer Lugami will go free. We have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today. As long as there is no more testimony, I'm afraid I have declared that no further questioning of this witness. Any objections? I hereby end the cross-examination of Lugami. I think I see it, Your Honor. Were you, when you were a child, this is what was on your report every year. Is this thinking Jessica? Has poor hearing and often makes mistakes as a result. How dare you? Phoenix, raise your head up high. Have you forgotten what I used to tell you? Or is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets? No, it's Mia. That voice, no way. Long time no see, Phoenix. Mia. This is the true power of the current channeling technique. I know this is really Maya who's standing right before me. But right now, she's my mentor, Mia Fey. Now let's do this. But nothing more can do, Mia. Not any more testimony I can't cross-examine. Not yet. Testimony's not over yet. What do you mean? Your Honor, just now you said something very interesting. You have cross-examined every statement the witness made here today. Yes, that's true. I got a phone call. Sorry, I'll be 1 minute. Alright, that's fine. I am the ace detective as well as the master mask. My verdict will verify that. This Rondo Lights will verify that he is the true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness. Yes, but these comments appear to have no importance whatsoever, where it will, and we shall prove the importance by a cross-examination. At any rate, as long as the witness has made these remarks, we the defense assert that our right to question him. That I read with you, prosecutor? Something wrong, Mr. Godot? Sorry, something the matter, Mr. Godot? Ah, nothing. Oh, sir, lawyer, it looks like you were one step too late. If you think such falsehoods would do anything to me, look at... Let's hear it. Huh? True that the witness made some remarks. So then let's hear their last bit of cross-examination. Mr. Godot, what are you... Very well then, Mr. Look at me. Going to allow the defense to cross-examine your earlier remarks. The defense would like to hear what you declared the defendant to be true murderer. Please give us one last bit of testimony. Phoenix, this is it. Our absolute last chance. Yes, Chief. Does that mean I can't press anything that's not pressable? You have one shot. Indeed, it is true that I was not at Lord Taylor. I had to leave to see about another virtually important job request. I had known about the date beforehand, so I had this photograph readied. A brilliant deduction was that what informed me that the true culprit was a Rondo Light. Thanks to the key card and wallet, but in the clear that he was there. I was also able to make the deduction the buzzer, which only sounded once, but did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? The victim would have left prints if he sounded it. It means the killer sounded it. Mr. Light was wearing his mask outfit, which is why he had no prints. How would you know that? And then the blackmail letter, the victim likely just mistook the color of the jewel. Zavari. Therefore, all the evidence points to that poor boy. Testimony actually seems to hold up pretty well. Witness' earlier remarks do not appear to have been hastily prepared. All of his points have been explained, none of them seem to contradict anything. But of course. But how did you know about the emergency buzzer? Police investigation documents went directly through me. Always look over all the documents. It's elementary, sir lawyer. Grr. Wouldn't it make even more trouble for us now, sir lawyer? Absolutely. I don't allow any of your usual shenanigans, Mr. Wright. Yes, your honor. Cannot postpone Luke Amy's trial any longer. This is your last chance. Hang on a second, just get one chance? Seems that the part is about to begin. Well, Phoenix, isn't any evidence that contradicts with that testimony? So it would seem. What do you mean, so it would seem? Listen, Phoenix, pointing out contradictions doesn't always mean you have to present evidence, does it? At any rate, this is your last chance. You can't point out the case-breaking contradiction. You lose. That's all there is to it. Cup number 17. The last cup. Seems like this time has come to put an end to the trial. I have to find the fatal I know what it is! I need to point it out without pressing evidence. It means all I can do is find the contradictory remark and press it. Remember, only get one chance. Very well then, Mr. Wright. Please begin the final cross-examination. How would you have known about the outfit, you slimeball? Mr. Amy, about this last remark. Objection! You still don't get it, do you, Trite? Isn't the time to be pressing the witness on every little statement? I'm afraid you're the one who still doesn't get it, Mr. Cadet. What? Mr. Amy, seems you have finally admitted that you were in the CEO's office on the night of the murder. How can you say that? Let's review your testimony, shall we, Mr. Amy? The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? Mr. DeLay was wearing his mask-to-mask outfit, is that correct? Indeed. That's what I said. My deductions are absolutely foolproof. More like your deductions prove that you're a fool. I'm sorry, what do you mean? For some reason, I'm starting to get really thirsty. When exactly did we learn the fact that Rhonda Light was dressed as mask-to-mask when he went out to see us in the crime? That was, just a few hours ago. Back when my sixth cup was looking at me with a cold stare. Oh, did I forget to mention it before? Oh, sorry, I just never had a chance to mention it up until now. That's right. The defendant had yet to tell anyone else this fact before this morning. Therefore, the only people who should know this are those who have been watching this trial. Grr. Nah. Do you understand now, Detective Abby? There is no way that you shouldn't have known about that. Yeah. You were in the next courtroom being tried as mask-to-mask, then enlighten us. Just how did you know about that piece of information? Well. Come on, this detective must have known about it. He probably had plenty of chances to find out beforehand. Objection. And it's those chances that I want to discuss next. That night, Mr. DeLay was wearing his mask-to-mask outfit. There is one and only one way for Detective Amy to have found that out. Only one. One way, you say. Please recall, if you will, Mr. DeLay's testimony. When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there. For a second, my client witnessed the real killer. Mr. DeLay never saw its attacker, so there's no way to tell whether or not the real killer was Luke Amy. It's with that statement that I'll turn this case on its head. Just what are you implying? Mr. DeLay saw the real killer, correct? Now, if you turn that statement around, stands the reason that the real killer has also seen Rhonda Light. Impossible. Detective Amy, you saw Mask-to-Mask at the murder scene that night. You saw him when you killed Cain Bulliard and assaulted Rhonda Light. That was the only way you could have known that Ron was wearing what Ron was wearing. Take a good look, everyone. Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to create one by myself. Here I am, the tragic clown. That's the same line you gave yesterday. But, I think there's a little more meaning behind it this time. When awfully complicated incident. Cain Bulliard was blackmailing Luke Amy, who was, in return, blackmailing Rhonda Light. And upon killing his blackmailer, Luke Amy tried to frame Rhonda Light. He then claimed to be guilty as mask-to-mask in order to escape his true crime. And to that end, he came up with his plan. He used the double jeopardy rule by making his alibi. At any rate, it would seem we found the truth. Excuse me. Came perilously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man. Besmirching him with the title murderer. Don't ignore me. Oh, I didn't realize you were there. Why wouldn't he be? About the verdict. I know. Never committed any murder. That's right, I'm also glad you understand that, but I really am mask-to-mask. Huh? So then, thanks to that trial yesterday, I am innocent now, right? What was he said, double jeopardy? Not that you mentioned it. I've been careless. Careless? What do you think, Mia? Defendant says that rule of double jeopardy is absolute. Defendant cannot never be tried twice for a crime in which he was once found innocent. Then Master Mask is really innocent? It would seem so for now. For now. Now then, this court finds the defendant not guilty. Boy, this is really lucky. Wait, isn't still good after all. You see, this thing is still a Master Mask after all. Number 14, 3:35 p.m. District Court, defendant lobby number 4. You did it, Phoenix. Thanks, Mia. It's been a long time, hasn't it? Yes, because Maya isn't calling me much these days. Oh, I'm just joking, Phoenix. Don't take everything so seriously. On the other hand, Maya, she seems kind of torn these days. You mean about becoming the master current channel in school? Becoming the master means saying goodbye to our mother. Misty Faye, right? Watch over her, will you, Phoenix? Of course. Well then, see you around. Mia? Mr. Wright. I don't know what to say. Congratulations, Mr. Delight. Thank you so much. Or, no, wait. Nothing really matters anymore. Well, come on, just be happy already. Maya. You've been cleared of the murder charges and got all Master Mask to boot. But, in exchange, lost everything. Huh? What do you mean? Stealing security information from KB Security, becoming Master Mask. Did it all for one reason. For her. You mean your wife, is that right? She hates criminals more than anything. Come to think of it, she was once held hostage by some robbers, wasn't she? She always said how she hated sneaky criminals. I knew that, but once I got fired from KB Security and lost all the money I had, she wouldn't have any reason to stay with me. I thought she would leave me for sure, and that's why you became Master Mask. Yes, but it's all over now. Broken bowl can never be put back together. That's not true, right, Nick? Right. Oh, really? Can we go back to the way things were? I'll be fine, and Nick can prove it. I can? I kinda wish you would check with me first. Mr. Delight, even if a bowl is broken, there is always a way to put it back together. But I got no idea. The Sacred Urn. Desi was the one who found this. Desier, your wife, has always believed in you, Ron. That's why you'll be fine. You don't have to worry about anything. Ah, there you are. Miss Delight. You did it, Ronnie. You're innocent. I'm so happy. Thank you. I appreciate that. But, suppose you don't want anything to do with me anymore, do you? Ronnie, why don't you talk to me about what was going on? I had no idea you quit KB Security. I never imagined that you were really Master Mask either. Miss Delight, what are you going to do now that you know? You're not going to really leave him, are you? Come on, it's obvious, isn't it? How could I ever let a wonderful man like him get away? After all, like, my bikes are really fast. So fast there's no way he could ever get away. Didn't you say that you hated criminals? Oh, I only hate people who act as all cowardly and sneaky. Like that detective. I see. Ronnie went and declared his crimes before he committed them, like a man. I love a man who's so chivalrous. Chivalrous. I knew I was right about you. Every day I spend with you is filled with thrills and excitement. Desi. Desier, you really do love Ron, don't you? Nicky boy? Yes. I'm really glad I asked you to defend my Ronnie. Thank you so much. I'll never forget what you've done for us. Oh well, take care of yourself. You too, Nicky boy. Ellipses. Gulp. I can feel my face going red. Mr. Nick, Mystic Maya, congratulations. Gasp. Talk about bad timing. Mr. Nick, how could you? Another man's wife in front of Mystic Maya. No, you got it all wrong. Never forgive you, never ever. Put me in that stinking hospital. Just as the case came to a close, so did too my consciousness. Ron said a broken bowl can never be put back together. But I know that's not true. I mean, just look. This is Amy now, doesn't it? Here's a perfect example of one that was put back together even before the better than before. Look, I broke it again, obviously. It's over. It's over. 2 more episodes, I believe. 2 or 3. Stolen Turnabout. Complete episode 2 of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. Oh no, it's another Maya quest. Stinking case. How dare you? Dunk. That's enough. Of course, he's no reason to further prolong the trial. Case is extremely clear. No room for misinterpretation of the facts. It wasn't me. I swear it wasn't me. Evidence and testimony we have seen and heard are conclusive. Victim was alone at his table when he drank from that poisoned cup of coffee. No, you're wrong. I know what I saw. I saw. I saw someone else there, a man. He's the real killer. Why wouldn't anyone believe me? Well, I'd say that pretty much wraps this case up, wouldn't you? Mr. Wright? Court finds the defendant guilty. Court is adjourned. January 6, 10:03 a.m. Ranco Law Offices. Ah, the start of a new year always makes me feel like I can take it the whole new world. I can take on the whole world. I bet it does, Maya. So I decided that our resolution should be Zavar, take on the world. What do you think? Sure, whatever, Maya. But I think maybe you've had more than enough mistletoe cake. Never you got to eat a lot of cake during New Year's is practically a tradition. You have like a 25 days ago. Like watching the fireworks on TV or playing a board game. Hey, pal. Gumshoe. Happy New Year, Detective. Am I dying here? Was it not December 6th? Likewise. Now listen up, Wright. Here's another fruitful year of police cooperation. Yeah, me too. Alright, pal. You got some explaining to do. You got a holiday present for me, Detective? What? Well, here, have this. It's not really much, but... Yeah, thanks. Look, pal, we need to have a talk. Take a seat. Hey, what about Pearly? You haven't forgotten about her present, have you? No, yes, no. Are you doing this on purpose? I guess I'm busted. How'd you like my first practical joke of the year? Very funny, pal. Let's see how funny you think this is. I want to show you this. What is it? A magazine? Hey, I want to see. Deadly poisoning brings guilty verdict. Defense attorney Wright trounced. Let me see that. Defense attorney gave an almost childishly amateur performance yesterday. What the heck is this? It's your report, pal. How about you? Listen to this. Mr. Wright must take full responsibility for the ruling in this case. Well, and don't tell me you don't remember anything about it. But I don't remember anything about it. When was the issue? When was that issue from anyway? December of last year? That makes it last month. Which means it's old news, you mean? It wasn't involved in the poisoning case in December. So what do you think about all this, Nick? It was January 6th then, okay. If it wasn't you, pal, then there's only one possibility. No way. You don't mean... A phony Nick? Must be Gumshoe's idea of a joke. Guess he's starting to off the year with this one too. Magazine clippings added to the court record. So, what are you gonna do about this, pal? What do you mean what I'm gonna do about it? Well, it's your fault that the judge found the defendant guilty in this case. My fault? How do you figure that? Because the Phoenix Wright is super famous now. Well, maybe only sort of. Yeah, see what happens when your hotshots start getting too full of yourselves. Well, I didn't do anything wrong, at least not that I can remember. Better to make this right, pal, now. And that means taking the case back to court, got it? Sounds like we got our first case for the new year. Tackle with gusto. I don't know, the judge already issued a guilty verdict in the one in this case. I'm going to get overturned so easily. Looks like New Year's resolution is going to have to wait until next year. You're taking the case, right? Good, I'm glad. I'm going to head over to the courthouse then. After that, I'll go back to the precinct, drop by you if you, Drop by if you need anything, okay, pal? Donk. I guess people are trying to know the name things, right? The client entrusted a case to me based on my reputation, so I'm kind of responsible, but why would someone want to impersonate me? What sort of guy would want to do that? The first move, I guess we gotta go down to the detention center and talk. Wait a sec, Nick. Person behind bars because of you. Whoever it is, you're gonna be jumping at a chance to meet you, right? Hey, let's get on one thing straight. It wasn't me. It was a fake me that did this. I wonder if he looks exactly like your phony, as in Hop, I mean. Hope not. Shudder. And what kind of name for an evil double is in Hop? It's Phoenix. Anyway, Nick, I got it. You're gonna ask whether I've got a twin brother. The answer is no. Spoil sport. Did you notice Dumb Shield was acting weirder than usual? Or was it just me? What do you mean? I mean, he was really worked up. A guy who just found out he's going to be a dad or something. Yeah, I guess he was acting kind of strange. Maybe you realize he's got strong feelings for you, Nick. Considering how we interact, I seriously doubt that, Maya. Well, if he wasn't nervous because of you, maybe it's because of our new guilty client? So you still got that badge, I see. Huh? Well, I'm a lawyer, aren't I? Yeah, but I guess I just didn't think you'd keep on being one for this long. Alright, nothing new. I couldn't believe you got an impersonator. I can't either, sigh. Aw, but look at the bright side. Our only famous stars have people impersonating them. Isn't funny, Maya? It's not just an impersonation that the guy stole my identity. Someone might have been wrongly convicted as a result. Guess you should have gone into showbiz, huh, Nick? Never understand how your mind works, Maya. This is so nerve-wracking, waiting to meet our new client. I wonder just what kind of person you tricked and got found guilty. Keep it down, Maya. That kind of talk could have ruined me. Ah? How could you? I know you. How could you, Mr. Wright? How could you do this to me? You put me in solitary. I haven't been able to stop crying. Aren't you? Yes, I am. I'm totally let down. Are you? Don't pretend you don't know me. It's me, Maggie. Remember? Maggie Bird? Maggie Bird. Ah. I do remember you. I did your case a month and a half ago. Maggie Bird, she's the policewoman I defended that one time. She was accused of murdering her lover. He was a cop too. What are you doing in here? Didn't I get your acquit? Oh, sure, very funny. After the 5th-rate defense job, you came in here and started making jokes. You better hurry up and tell her what happened, Nick. Donk. Oh, I see. That's where we stand right now. I'm sorry you've been caught up in another murder. My whole life has been nothing but a whirlwind of bad luck and failures. I vaguely remember her saying the exact same thing last time. But I don't mind. What's one more disaster in my life? It's now the real Mr. Wright is here with me. I won't let the world keep me down, sir. That badge, is it real? Of course it's real. I showed it to everybody. That's what they all say. But I've been duped before. Give it to me for a sec. Ah? Chomp? She bit into it. Left a few teeth marks, too. I can see that. I just wish I could remember if that makes it real or fake. Sigh. I thought it was real. Oh yeah, I need to ask you about this. Hey, this article is about my case. Can you tell me anything about the guy who was pretending to be me? Yes, sir. It was the morning after I'd been arrested. I met you in the visitor's room here. You were wearing one of your super sharp suits. Me? Yes, you, Mr. Wright. Hey, Maggie, was my evil double, I am here too? No, I don't remember if only you, Maya. Oh, sigh. It's so cool. Then you get really worked up and passionate. I'm gonna get you cleared at this crime. He said. Okay, I get the picture, but you met me in person before. How come you didn't realize that guy wasn't the real me? I guess, looking back now, it was a little strange. Only a little. Well, okay, so you were a bit taller than normal. You looked a bit shady. And your voice, whoops. A guy was nothing like me then. But he had your spiky hair and blue suit. Is that all it takes for someone to intimidate me? How about everyone else in the courtroom, like the judge and the observers? Didn't they realize he was an imposter? Everyone had these big question marks on their faces. It seemed that no one wanted to say anything, sir. I guess it just keeps getting weirder and weirder. So, how come you were dressed like that, Maggie? Last year you looked so sharp in the police uniform. Humph, I was fired after that incident last year. You quit. Oh, I'm sorry. It's alright, I don't mind one bit. I enjoyed being on the force, but I think it was time for me to move on. So what did you do now? What do you do now? In the second act of The Life of Maggie Bird, I'm playing the role of a waitress. A waitress? Yes, in a French restaurant. Small place, but it's quite fashionable. Charming smile and a shapely figure came through for me. And the owner, Mr. Armstrong, hired me straight away, sir. And you got into this mess straight away, right? Yeah, you could put it that way. It was like a year and a half since your case. Whole mess started on the 3rd of last month. That happened at Tribien. Tribien? Yes, restaurant where good service and a friendly smile are always included. Oh. There were 2 men at the table, while drinking coffee. And then... some salt on it. One of the men slipped some poison in the victim's cup. The victim took just 1 sip and was gasping for air. I was so shocked, I passed out. Hey, hold on there, Maggie. What? You keep calling this guy the victim. Didn't you know the guy who was killed? Not at all, I never even seen the guy before. Oh. She wouldn't have had a motive to kill him then, I guess. And the other man, the killer? You saw him, right? Of course, a good waitress must be attentive to the clientele. So you saw the killer, but you were found guilty of the crime anyway, how come? Tell me, Mr. Wright. Ack, if the answer to my question is my phony. Anyway, as you saw the killer, better see if I can get a description of the guy. So, if you saw the murderer, why were you still convicted? Because no one else saw. Saw what? The other man. When he put the poison in the victim's coffee. Everyone testified that way. Mr. Armstrong, the customer, everyone. The victim was sitting alone at his table the whole time. But how's that possible? I don't know, but nobody, not one person, would believe me, sir. Even finished right, my one last hope for a fair trial failed me. What a pathetic defense, my granny could have done a better job. Look, that wasn't me, alright? And then... they found something a bit incriminating in my apron pocket. What? Small bottle. Poison. A poison? It was in your pocket? Well, I passed out when the victim collapsed. The killer must have slipped the poison in my pocket when I was unconscious. And no one else saw the other guy? No, sir. What everyone said, but I don't see how they could have missed him. I was the one who took the coffee to the 2 men. Oh, and what was your impression of them? Well, when I first saw them, I kinda thought they might be in the music industry. In music? How come? Well, one of them had some sort of earpiece, and the other, and an emo musician's look about him. The other one was a sample, and there was a sample CD on the table, sir. An earpiece and a sample CD, huh? Did you go look at the CD at all? Had a band's name written on it. I think it was MC something. They must have been preparing it for the debut, I guess. So it was a band CD, maybe a promo disc? Maybe it was MC Screwdriver. You serious, Maya? Would you buy the CD of a group named that? Nah. What was the name of that group again? MC Hacksaw? No, MC... What about the killer? What do he look like? Well, I don't really remember. Only that he was a young man, well built like the victim, really. Mr. Wright, do you think it's possible to get a retrial? Probably. The court ruled in the absence of a genuine defense attorney, so we should be able to get a retrial. Mr. Wright, do you think we'll win next time, sir? My life has been full of coarse meal bad luck, complete with defeat for dessert. As I was 6 months old when I fell from the 9th floor of my apartment building. I've been hit by all sorts of vehicles, gotten sick from all sorts of foods, failed at almost every test I've taken, experienced almost every kind of disaster. Even landed a phony lawyer when I had the misfortune of being accused of murder. But I will survive because Maggie Bird always lives to fight another day. And one day, I'll find it. Just you wait and see, sir. I find the one single moment of good luck. Zinni Hop is really gonna pay for this. Well, what are you staring at me like that for? Maya's right. Where it is, I thought it was a good idea to use my name and get the innocent girl convicted of murder. I better watch out. We'll find him, don't you worry. We'll get Zinni Hop for you. Thank you. I'll tell you where Bien is then. Right. The restaurant where the murder took place. Yes, sir. When you go, please tell Mr. Armstrong I said hi. Sure, alright, Nick. Let's go check out the restaurant and this food. Goodbye. Let's go stop at Criminal Affairs first. Been ages since we came down to the Bruce Tectonic. Looks like Gumshoe isn't around. It got it so easy leaving everyone else to do the work. Now he's out there somewhere. My bet is at the courthouse. Probably trying to arrange a retrial of this case. Guess that means we should go to the detention center and chat with our killer, huh? After being convicted without a fair trial, I'm not sure killer is the right label. I'll go to the detention center first, that's my bad. Then Bien. It's been a month. Still haven't, cleaned up. Wow. Look at this place. Look. Or like smell. What's it with the suffocating scent of flowers in here? Not gonna lie, I thought I was a bit picky. Then again, girls like that kind of thing, right? Actually, I'm not all that into it. Oh, it's coming to see us. Maybe there's no one here. Don't be silly, Maya. This is a restaurant. It's open for business. Hello? Anyone here? I don't believe it. There really isn't anyone here. Perfect, let's get intrusive. There's no one here. We can take anything we want. Yeah, I suppose we can. Man, he's really bad influence on him. Look, it's one of those magical boxes that spits out money. You know, you're the only person who would ever describe a cash register in that way. Look at the little trinkets tucked away in here. I bet Mr. Armstrong collected all these personally. I see a bouquet of flowers, some potpourri, and look, fine bona china, bon china cups. I never knew you were so cultured. Come on, Maya. This is common knowledge. Any Joe Smo knows this. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. It's a rack full of fashion magazines, and they're all in French. Why don't you try wearing something a bit more chic sometime, huh, Maya? Yeah, I guess I could. I'm always in my acolyte clothes, aren't I? It'd be fun to wear normal clothes every now and then. I'm gonna be stuck behind that rack. Newspaper. Looks like a sports paper to me. Hey, look at this. Someone scribbled a little doodle on the front pages. MC Bomber. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. $100,000? Maybe? I wonder what MC Bomber is supposed to be. This paper is from December 3rd. Paper's from the day of the poisoning. Paper from the day of the murder. Gotta be a clue. I should see if I can find out some more about this paper. For May. It's the restaurant's front entrance. Sign hanging on the door written in French. Probably says open or closed. Might be one or the other. I don't know which sense. I don't know Jacques about the French. I don't know Jacques about the French. It's Jacques, but Jacques is. Let me at the table where the murder occurred. I guess so. With all the police duct tape around, or police tape around, stain must be from the poison coffee. And go licking the tablecloth, okay, Maya? Why would I lick it? I'm not a cat, you know. And why can I picture you doing just that? The restaurant has partitions that separate the tables. When you're seated at the table, you can only see the front tables to your left and right. This table's set nicely. Just needs a customer. What do you think this flower is, Nick? Let's see. Well, it doesn't look like a tulip. It's not a sunflower, I don't think. Duh, even I could have told you that. Well, those are the only kinds of flowers I know. Dagnabbit. I'm a lawyer, not a botanist. Wow, it's a beautiful winter wonderland out there. Really cool. I love snow. Let me see. It's not white. It's not even snowing. Gotcha. I was only kidding, Maya. Nick. There are lies that you are okay to tell, and lies that definitely aren't. You just walked here. All it did was tell an itty bitty white lie about non-existent white snow. It's your rack full of fashion magazines, and they're all in French. Why don't you try wearing something a bit more chic sometime, huh, Maya? I mean, I'm aware. What may I expect it? No? Are we done here? Oh, a sports paper. Let's see. The Goosenbraun managed to defend his heavyweight title. Sorry, Maggie, this paper is actually a month old. It's from the day of the murder. And Gussie got knocked out yesterday, I'm afraid. Oh, no. I found this paper in the magazine rack at Tresbien. Really? That's strange. Tresbien doesn't get newspapers. Mr. Armstrong says he's not really fond of them. Maybe one of the customers left it behind. Anyway, what I want you to take a look at is the scribble here. Aha, that's it, sir. MC Bomber. That was the name of the written on the CD. Just as I thought. I guess it was an empty screwdriver after all, huh? But that's 100,000 must be a down payment for a record deal, right? Someone gave me 100,000, I think for sure. Master of Korean, or Spirit Song, or even Maya's theme. Okay, Maya. So if the sample CD was on the victim's table, that means this newspaper must have belonged to the victim. You're right. So that victim left this behind the day of the murder, huh? I think we better step up the investigation, don't you, Nick? Okay. Well, I'm gonna walk away from there in just a minute. Just a minute here. Drink a glass of water, because I'm thirsty. And then we'll do like another 45 minutes of Switch games, I'm thinking. Alright, go give me a save, Davey. And I'll be right back. Now, Overwatch 3, finished Wright 3, man.